Today I have a terrific stew for you that's probably a bit different than your usual recipe. It definitely has a kick to it as we're using 2 types of hot peppers that will be sure to wake up your taste buds. Okay, let's get started. Here I have 1 pound of flank steak. Beef sirloin or beef round will work just as well. I've already trimmed any visible white fat from the meat, and now I'll cut it into 1-inch cubes. The key to cutting meat, or any food really, is to have a sharp knife. It's actually safer to have a sharp knife in the kitchen versus a dull one. Okay, that's done. Now since I'm not ready to cook the beef yet, I'm going to put these cubes on the plate, cover with plastic wrap, and store in the refrigerator until we're ready to use. Okay, time to wash my hands. So next I'm going to show you a neat technique, how to roast chili peppers. You can use this technique with any pepper, hot or sweet, and it really gives a wonderful smoky and rich flavor to the pepper in any dish. Today I'm roasting Hatch peppers, which are green chili peppers that are grown in Hatch, New Mexico, thus the name. This recipe calls for 6. Now if you want to skip the whole roasting process, you can use 2 3-ounce cans of green chili peppers instead. But if you have a little extra time, I promise you, there's nothing like flavor from your own roasted peppers. First, I've turned on the broiler in the oven as we're going to blacken and blister the pepper skins. I've placed the peppers on a cooking tray and into the oven they go. Every 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to carefully turn the peppers with my tongs here until all sides are blackened. Okay, my peppers are totally charred, so now for the next step, pop them all into a paper bag and close it by folding. After 20 minutes or so, remove them from the bag and simply slide up the blackened skins and discard. The last step is to remove the seeds and cut the peppers however you like. For our stew, I'm just going to give them a quick chop. Now we are ready to put our stew together. I've added 1 tablespoon of heart-healthy oil to my big stew pot, which I have over medium-high heat. It just takes a minute to heat up the oil, and now I'll add in the beef. You're going to hear some serious sizzling going on. I'm just going to hang out here and stir occasionally until the beef is browned. Okay, 5 minutes have passed and the meat is good and browned. I'm now adding 1 small white onion that I chopped earlier. You can use yellow or sweet onion if you prefer. Next, I'm adding 2 cloves of minced garlic, which is the equivalent to 2 teaspoons of minced garlic if you prefer to use the kind from the jar. Now I'm going to give this a stir and cook for about 2 to 3 minutes and look for the onions to start to become translucent, which means clear. Now it's time to add in 2 tablespoons of whole wheat flour. This is going to coat the beef, onions, and garlic and help thicken our stew. Make sure to stir the flour until it's well mixed in. Next, I'm adding 1 can of no salt added chopped tomatoes. I purposely did not drain them as I want all of that lovely juice for the stew. If you prefer fresh tomatoes, you can add 2 cups of freshly chopped instead of canned. Now we get to add those gorgeous hatch peppers that we roasted earlier. These are really going to add some pop and heat to the final dish. Hey, and speaking of heat, I'm also going to add in 1 chopped jalapeno pepper. If you like your food super spicy, you can use a serrano pepper instead, but if you aren't a big fan of spicy, no problem. You can just skip this step. And another ½ teaspoon of pepper. And last but not least, 2 cups of low sodium fat-free chicken broth. And now, I'll turn the heat down to medium-low and cover the pot. I'm just going to let that simmer for about an hour, then it'll be ready. I like to serve it with brown rice, which helps tame the heat. I hope you enjoy this spicy yet healthy twist on stew.